Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Ashley, and I'm working with Bernadette on a project that we're really excited to present to you today. Both of us are actually international students from Singapore, so it's been really nice getting to kind of know everyone else in this circle and to bring our project to life, basically. So we're essentially pursuing a project on a children's picture book on inclusiveness during COVID-19. And here's kind of a mock-up or a taste of what our illustrator actually put together. And we just thought that we want to show you this illustration because we're really working towards having vibrant colors and all of that in our picture book. So just to explain a little bit of the motivation behind this project, we've noticed that COVID-19 has exposed many racial fissures and tensions, not only in America, but also in the rest of the world. And through creating a geographically ambiguous storybook that can potentially relate to a lot of people or children around the world, we want to spark conversations about the social implications of COVID-19. We've actually done a little bit of preliminary research on storybooks that have been written about COVID-19 for children, and we've noticed that most of the storybooks that have been written have kind of been more about explaining what exactly COVID is on a scientific level, but we want to really focus and hone in on the social implications and the issues surrounding race and identity regarding COVID as well. And so a little bit about our project and some background. We are targeting 6 to 9-year-olds, so a slightly older range of children. And we basically aim to address the social implications of COVID to make kind of the racial issues and more specifically anti-Asian racist sentiments more known to young children in a way that is understandable and accessible to them. And this picture book is also going to feature a diverse set of characters because we want to really hone in on the idea of diversity and inclusiveness, because how else could we kind of have a project that is about that, exactly about inclusiveness without a diverse set of characters. And so we're working with our illustrator on building this, and we also want to include really colorful and vibrant images because we've talked to kind of a few experts, and they've told us that children are always drawn to really vibrant colors. So that's what we're also working on. And the last thing that we have is the teacher's notes section, which is something that an educator actually directed us to and told us that we should consider having teacher's notes at the back of the picture book, which kind of just give a resource list or even questions that teachers could potentially pose to the children after they've finished reading the storybook to them. So that's kind of our way of incorporating some of the ideas that we want to kind of put forth, but maybe we're able to capture fully in the book. So we want to share some of the midpoint outcomes that we have currently achieved. This project is still very much in the works, in the pipeline. I think it's a common misconception that it's really easy to write a children's storybook, but I think actually it's probably the hardest kind of story to write because we're trying to essentially distill a very complex message into a simple storyline that is understandable. And so we've also received feedback that it's okay to take our time, and we really want to just ensure that we have a storyline that is comprehensive and that we're proud of, and that kind of fills all the gaps. So we've currently already completed a full storyline draft, but we're still gathering feedback from experts on the storyline and are in the process of making a lot of edits. So cutting things down, shortening things. And we've also connected with the Columbia community, so professors as well as students from Teachers College, members of GS, because we're both from GS, and also other GCC members to potentially expand the project. And Bernadette will be talking about this in her section. And so now I'll be passing on the time to her to talk about the plot.
Thank you, Ashley. So for the plot we have now, firstly, we will start with a protagonist who is a visibly East Asian person who encounters anti-Asian racism in class following the COVID-19 pandemic. And then the teacher would then surface the problem and invite the students to have a quick discussion about empathy and about the real origins of COVID-19. And following that, the children would band together to write a collective letter about inclusivity to the mayor. And lastly, the mayor would then acknowledge the children and speak about the importance of empathy and setting up for what people believe into the community. So what are our plans moving forward? Firstly, we will pitch our storyline to people who are experts in this field and just find out more about what exactly will make the storybook more receptive to children. And we will also continue working with our illustrator to ensure that there is a seamless integration between the storyline as well as the illustrations. And following that, we will conduct beta testing in Singapore. So this would include just limitedly rolling out our storybook to certain parents and children and just finding out feedback about what are their initial reactions to the story. We will then tweak this and then find a publisher for both online and print versions of the book to make sure that our book has the most outreach. And lastly, we will engage with other people we've connected in GS and Teachers College to constantly get the word out there about our book to both the Singapore and New York City communities. So if you want to see some mock-ups, you can go to this website, and these are just some ideas we have about what the main character will look like, some outfit ideas. Yeah. Yeah, and that's our mood board. Yeah. Thank you so much for listening to our presentation, and please let us know if you have any questions or comments.